Hello Stampers, my name is Helen Borer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Seward, Nebraska. And I am going to make a series of videos on using up your designer series paper. If you're like me, you tend to hoard it. It's so pretty you don't want to use it. The project I'm going to share today uses one whole piece, and it'll leave you just a small scrap left. And we'll either find a use for it or we might actually throw it away. Not sure. Still saving. But anyway, what we're going to make is an envelope and a card. It uses very little cardstock. The envelope is slightly larger than a regular envelope, but it, depending what kind of paper you use, you can use a label to make it addressable. So let's get started. I'm going to use one of these papers. It was from Celebration. You can no longer get it, but let's face it, we all have paper that you can no longer buy, and we still want to use it. We actually don't want to buy more. Okay, so to make this card, we're going to start off cutting off a 4-inch strip. In this series, we're going to do a lot of cards that start out with a 4-inch strip. This is for the card. Okay, next for the envelope, we want 6.5 inches. Okay, so I cut off 4, so this is 8. So if I cut off 1.5, that will give me 6.5 inches. So here's that extra strip. And then this is actually 1 inch longer than we need, so we're going to cut off 1 inch. Okay, then we're going to bring in our scoreboard, or whatever you have for a scoring tool. And for the card, this is your 4 by 12 inch piece. We're going to score it at 1 inch. And I'm using the big end here so I don't press too hard and tear my paper. And then we need that at 6.5 inch. On our envelope piece of paper, I have to check my notes, and I lost them. But it seems like we wanted 3 and 7. I can't find my paper, so we'll use this to check. And I scored this at 3 and 7.5. So 3 and 7.5. So you score at both of those score lines. Now the hard part here is deciding which way you want your envelope. If you want this to be the outside, or if you fold it the other direction, if you want this to be your outside. Well, we'll make that decision after we get the card made and see what we want. The only other thing we're going to do here is round these corners with whatever corner rounder you have. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue along those 2 edges and some sticky strip up at the top, so you have something to seal your envelope when you're ready to send your card. Well, I guess with that on there, we've decided which way we're going. I was leaning the other way, but since I put the sticky strip up there, let's just finish it up. And you put just a little bit of glue on there. You could use other adhesives. It doesn't have to be incredibly strong. And there's your envelope. I'm thinking we probably would want a label, and a little larger label would be nice, but I don't have any. So we'll put a label down there for the address, and you have an envelope. And our card is almost as easy as that. We have the 1-inch score, and we have a 6.5. And basically what we're going to do is we fold the 1-inch back, and here again we can decide which we want on the outside and which we want on the inside. All you have to do is refold. I'm thinking I want the flowers on the outside. Okay, we're going to glue down this 1-inch scrap here. The main reason for leaving that on is to add stability to the card. It also adds a different layer of cardstock. The inside of our card is just a piece of white that's, what, 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we'll put that on there. Well, before I do that, one thing I did was added a layer of designer series paper on there. And the reason to do that before is so that you could cut it off. So, but that adds just some more color inside, lets you see both sides of the paper. The white layer in here also adds stability for your card because this is designer series paper. In real life, it would also be good to do whatever stamping you might want on this layer before you put it in. But for the sake of the video, I think we can just go with that. There's our inside, there's our outside. And all we need to do at this point is figure out how we want to decorate that. And I'm thinking we could use maybe some old olives, some maybe Night of Navy. So let's just cut some small strips. Well, second thought, let's use this. One thing I like to do, and this has become one of my favorite punches. We're going to take this here and use it to flag the ends of this cardstock, which gives you a really nice end. And okay, we can decide how long we're going to want that. And then let's get a scrap of Night of Navy. I have this piece of scrap paper here that I used to cover a book. And so I just didn't throw it away because it can be well used for this. Oops, I didn't cut enough. We can take the same punch and give us a flagged end, which then looks really nice with this. And should we add a third one, or should we call that good? Let's cut one out of seafoam too, and just and we're going to flag that into. I didn't measure the widths. You can do whatever. And then we're going to need something to put a sentiment on. Let's use the same punch and create our sentiment piece there. And, well, maybe we need something a little bigger. I like the idea of a bigger one. Now when we glue these pieces on here, they will also add stability for our card. Trying to decide if we want them to end right there or if they should go to the edge. I'm thinking all the way to the edge. So I'm going to take these pieces and just trim them off. And we can put them on there and then trim off exactly. I like them just like that. Wish I didn't have to move them. Oops. Well, that ship has sailed. So let's put it down there like that. And there was nothing magic about how I had them. I'm sure this will be different, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, I didn't get a real good end here. Let's try that again. That's better. And let's put that right there. And we'll make sure we have it out here far enough that it goes to the edge. And I glued it to my paper. We're going to take that and cut it off. I didn't like to cut through all of those layers right at the edge. And, you know, when this showed up here, why don't we also decorate with that little bit of flower? We can fussy cut that. Doesn't have to be great. Okay, then we need to find a sentiment here to meanwhile, when we're done here, this basically is all we're going to have left. And we could cut another flower out of that, but we won't. Okay, what I have the Approaching Perfection stamp set here, and I think I'm going to try, if things really do get better with age, then you're approaching perfection. I'm sticking to my paper. And I think we'll stamp that in Night of Navy. Okay, the good thing about a circle is you don't have to have it straight because you can change the circle. Ooh, and I boogered down there, so guess what? That's where the flower's going to go. And how would it look if we put candles down there? I don't know, but let's try it. I'm going to take Seaside spray for the candles. And let's just put them right there. And I boogered there too. I'm not doing so good this morning. What we're going to do is add another set of candles. I don't know if that looks good, but we're going with it. Oops. So then let's put this together with dimensionals. You know, I'm thinking there is enough height difference with all these banners that I'm actually going to double up these top two dimensionals. If that doesn't work, we'll take them off. Oops, it's sticking to me. Okay. And I think we're going to need some dimensional on our flower. This was too big. Every card needs a little bling. Let's add some bling maybe down there. How about up in the middle of that flower? Maybe a bigger one right up there. I think we'll call that good. So here we have made a very simple card. And it used a whole sheet of paper. We have a beautiful envelope. I challenge you all to take out a sheet of DSP and make at least one card and give this a try.